episode of the Butler Podcast. I'm your host, Ian Brandon, Satellite Office Supervisor for Jefferson County Public Schools. And today I am remote at Butler High School, visiting with the members of the Black Student Union. Today I have with me Janiyah Logan, Anaya Howard, Raylan Bethel, and Rylan. Sorry.
Yes, right.
Thank you. Sorry. Yeah. It's all right. It's okay. And Zaria Pinkston.
Zaria Pinkston.
Zaria.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
I butchered that, didn't I?
Yeah. I get it.
All right. So let's go in order. Tell me a little bit about yourself, what position you hold within the BSU, and just something unique about yourself.
Well, I'm Janiyah, and I'm a senior here at Butler, and I am the president of the BSU. And something I guess cool about myself is I am in the band, multiple bands, and theater.
My name is Anaya Howard. I'm a senior here at Butler Traditional High School. I am the vice president of our school's Black Student Union. I'm involved in track and field and also the Muhammad Ali Center Council of Students.
My name is Ryland. I'm a senior here at Butler Traditional High School. I'm the secretary for BSU, and I run track, and I'm into art.
My name is Zaria Pinkston. I'm a senior here at Butler, and I also been doing track and field, and also participate in LGL Louisville Girls Leadership Program.
Thank you all for joining me. There's a lot of track and field out here. Is that how y'all got introduced to the BSU through track and field, or vice versa?
I was gonna say I started with BSU sophomore year. I didn't do track till later on.
I personally did track and field for 4 years, so coming in since middle school actually. So coming in here, I already done.
Yeah, Zaria and Rylan really got me wanting to join BSU, but it's also associated with track. We have a lot of track runners in Black Student Union because Miss Henderson is a track coach as well. And also Demaria, she advocated for it really big, and she made me want to join the group as well. She was our previous president.
And so you mentioned your sponsor. Your sponsor's a track coach?
Yes, Miss Henderson. She's an official.
She's an official?
Yes,
not the coach. She's an official.
Yes,
or she's officially
also,
your coach?
She is a track official. Like in general, she could help out at a lot of track meets. She be all over the place ripping and running. She's really busy, but she does her job very well. And this year she coaches the girls sprinters for the most part.
All right, so let's. I usually jump right into it, so we're gonna jump right into it. What are your plans post high school? Right, you guys are all seniors. Are you looking at college? Are you looking at something trade? Are you looking to be an entrepreneur? You don't know yet. Kind of talk to us a little bit about your plans.
Me personally, I do plan on going to a 4-year college. I plan on being in the marching band in college or wherever I go, and being an education major and becoming a high school math teacher.
My plans at the high school are to immediately go to JCTC, a community college, through the Ultra program. So after 2 years, I will transfer to University of Louisville and study psychology.
Ryland, I plan on going to the University of Louisville for college. I'm gonna study graphic design. I plan on joining some extracurriculars such as BSU. I'm in college as well, and continuing to pursue that and be a leader in my community.
Zaria here. I am going to U of L to major in computer science and technology. I also want to join the BSU community over there and continue my pathway.
Nice. Well, y'all already had a game, because my senior year, I didn't know what I was going to do. I was one of the ones coming in at the 12th hour, trying to get extra credit, make sure I got all my credits. I didn't know I was going to college till well after graduation. So Y'all already one step ahead.
Thank you.
So being involved in the BSU affords you some extracurricular activities. I understand that. This year, one of the opportunities you were afforded was a trip to the state capitol. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
What was the purpose of the trip? Let's start with Anaya.
All right, Anaya here. The purpose of the trip was to protest against Senate Bill 93, which, by the way, is a bill that is against any engaging diversity and equality, inclusion, and belonging in public school districts. And this will basically defund things like Black student unions, Best Buddies, which is like for special needs people. And basically it discriminates and has a bias against race, color, national origin, sex, disability, or religion.
Yes, our purpose, I really wanted to go there, and I wanted us to all have a voice. I wanted people to really speak out against this terrible bill, and I was just there to fight.
Ryland here. Not only was it a way for like Butler kids to come together and be together, but like we would meet with other schools and everybody's voice is able to be heard, and it was kind of fun to just like we would play music and have different people singing or reading poems or just like speaking their hearts out, and it was basically just an experience to like be with your people and enjoy yourself and get your voices heard.
That's dope.
It's Janiyah right here, and I enjoyed going. I went last year as well when we first was protesting the Crown Act when it first went through, and it didn't work out last time. So I wanted to get out there and try again. Made sure this BSU. We made sure we got more people to come. Yeah. Last year we had about a half a bus. This year we got the full bus packed in like sardines. Yeah. So I wanted to come loud and proud as we did last year, especially with how much of an impact Butler makes. We're loud, we're proud everywhere we go, and I want to continue that legacy.
That's what's up. So when I talk to students now, especially in the height, like you mentioned, of the environment of what's happening, right? Bills and policies to defund equal opportunity, access and opportunity, equity programs. This is literally our generation of the civil rights movement when you think about it, right? I'm sure you've all seen imagery of
redlining,
MLK. I mean, the list goes on, but this is in real time. Like, it may not feel or seem like it, but like we're living in history right now. I'm interested to know about the emotions that you felt, right? So try to take us back. You're getting on the bus, right? You're headed down to Frankfurt. You get there, you park, you get out, go through security, get into the room. Talk a little bit about the emotions that you felt.
All right, starting off on the bus ride, I was really excited because last year the Crown Act, the rally went very well. Obviously, the bill didn't get passed. Well, the bill did get passed, but the rally went very well. I love the community that it made us feel. But I was also frustrated knowing that a lot of the things happening now, for example, the Senate bill, and also the busing situation with JCPS, is very frustrating knowing that these are tactics that they use to purposely go backwards, little by little, step by step.
How I felt excited. I was excited that I could make a change. I was doing my little piece on making a change. Like, my grandmother integrated her high schools. My grandfather marched with Martin Luther King on multiple occasions, and now it was my turn to take my step on the community. And I was really excited that I could be a part of the history.
I was very happy to just be a part of it, and it was cool to finally be doing something. You know, like on my day-to-day, it's like the regular go to school, go to track practice, go home, repeat. So it's kind of just cool to just actually be a part of something. And you see stuff like this all the time in the news and all over the place. So just to experience it was very fun and enlightening and inspiring.
I felt pretty excited because I also participated last year, and the frustration that they keep on trying to do these things, it's just, it feels really frustrating. And so to go there and fight, yell, scream, cheer, dance, it felt good. And it makes me feel like I want to do more. It makes me feel like I want to do more. It makes me feel like we can, it gives us a bit of hope doing it step by step. And I really like that.
Just to piggyback off of that, it just, I'm sorry, seeing the JCPS there, all the children, all of us, black, white, Hispanics, as young as, I think I may have saw like maybe even some 5th graders there, you know, fighting to get against this. It gives me hope on like future generations that we actually do want change. It's not, because a lot of people talk down on the generation, because I'm not gonna lie, I was a little scared, but seeing them there gives me hope.
Hope, I mean, it's a small but big word, right? Mm-hmm. Because I talked to a number of students and staff, administrators, and some don't have a hope. You know, some have given up, but it's always refreshing to hear the younger generation speak on hope and opportunity, and still have future and plans and doing things to work towards that. You mentioned transportation, right? That's a big it's a big topic right now. Are any of you affected by the board's decision on the new transportation plan? If so, can you share a little bit about how that impacts you? And if you are not directly impacted, do you have a friend or someone in your neighborhood that is impacted? And can you talk a little bit about that on their behalf?
I'm not personally affected by it because I will be graduating, but I do have younger siblings, and my sister goes to Male, and she's only a freshman, so she has 3 more years to endure this. So the transportation being taken away is kind of just like crazy to me, because then they think it's actually going to help, but at the end of the day, it's actually affecting people negatively more than it is positively. And I also have a younger sister. She's like 5 right now, and she hasn't obviously gotten to that point of school, but eventually she'll have to go like a different route, if anything, if she really needs to, and that'll probably make her experience of education different than like her older siblings.
Oh, I wanted to speak on behalf of my stepsister. My stepsister is 13, ready to go to high school. She has had her heart set on Central for the last 3 years. You know, she wants to be a vet. Central has all the vet, the robotics. They have everything she wants. And once all the problems came out, she was so disappointed that she was like, I'm not going to be able to go to Central. She was like, I'll go here. I'll go to Butler. And she wasn't even thinking about anything anymore. She didn't even want to go to high school anymore. She wasn't excited for high school. And as soon as that thing came out, like Western and Central gets transportation, we told her, and her face lit up. Mm-hmm. And just seeing that, just imagine how many other kids don't have to worry about that. And high school is something, not even just high school, school is something that kids want to come to every day. It's a safe place, and they're taking away people's safe places.
Definitely, the option to choose what safe place you want to go to, right? That was the the whole premise behind the new school choice is to give students and families a choice in where they wanted to go. Year or two later, we've got the transportation issue that literally pulls the rug right from up under you. We give you a choice, and then all of a sudden you don't have a choice. You want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, I just
Anaya?
think it's, oh, sorry. Anaya speaking. I think it's unfortunate for those students who worked hard to get into certain magnet schools and that can now get taken away from them due to transportation. There are always ways for things to work, but it could get complicated for a lot of families, and I don't know everyone's situation.
Hopping off that, I strongly agree. It's honestly frustrating because you hope to go to this school and just for you to work hard to find out there's no simple transportation. It's like it feels so inconsiderate, and it's like they don't realize how many buses every day have to come pick up and drop off these kids. And it was already a whole thing when they was changing school times and the amount of traffic. So just imagine now there's no transportation and parents have to communicate about work and have to find the convenient time to give their students a ride. So it's really just a frustrating situation, and it's very unfair.
It's Janiyah again. I was just piggybacking off of that I didn't realize how bad the busing situation is until this year when I was just talking to some people on my bus, I'm like, oh, you probably live by me. Maybe we can hang out, And I'm talking to this girl, and she tells me she lives out in Newburgh. I live out Valley, and that all goes on this. We're all on the same bus.
Mm-hmm.
And something about that just doesn't feel right.
Yeah. As a senior, you can pick that up, right? Yeah. Go ahead.
Piggybacking off of what they both said and me saying that they're going backwards, and like I said, it's a slow step process. First with them not paying the bus drivers enough money, and also them changing the routes made by people who are not even in our county, so that makes no sense. And also combining too many buses together. There's too many kids on one bus, elementary students peeing on themselves on the bus with a bunch of high school kids. I think that is a shame. It's a little process. It's right in front of our eyes. It's been happening this whole entire time. And it's not like they don't have the funding. There's not a single school. Like most schools, they have a great sports program. I'm so sorry. Athletic program. What school doesn't have a football team? They have the funding. I have teachers that say that the board sent them things that they don't even use and they didn't even ask for it. So I know that they have the funding. It's just, I feel like this is a scheme to go backwards and redline a bunch of different schools.
Yeah, I completely agree. And being like around last year-ish and being on the bus, and this year before track, I had to take an hour and a half home every single day. And it's honestly, I feel refreshed and fine after school, and then the next thing you know, I just feel so drained going off the bus and feel like I can't do any work. I just want a nap because sitting on that hard leather seat for hours is just ridiculous, and it's ridiculous for everybody else. And I was also one of the second last ones dropped off home. So it's honestly really it's really frustrating, and it goes to show with the whole bus situation, them not paying bus drivers, they're just completely inconsiderate of their situations.
So you all seem like y'all a pretty close-knit group here, right? You're all seniors. Yeah. Have you all been at Butler all 4 years?
Yes.
Right. In unison. Talk to me a little bit about the benefits of being in the BSU. What has that done for you personally, and what has it done for you academically?
Janiyah, being in BSU has gotten me out of my shell. Now everybody sees me as Janiyah, the girl with the smile. She's yelling, smiling, greeting everybody, getting on everybody's nerves because she won't stop talking. When I came into high school after COVID, I wouldn't talk to a person at all. I would talk to my little group of people I had from middle school or whatever. But BSU has really gotten me out my shell. I'm talking to people in front of multiple people on a daily occurrence. Like, I had really bad social anxiety. Like, I wouldn't have been able to do this podcast if it wasn't for the BSU. And like, academically, it makes me want to come to school just to see some of these people's faces. So with all the senioritis going on or whatever, I'm still going and getting my work done because I want to see everybody's face.
For me, it really made me want to show more leadership, and because I was really wanting to do more things outside of school or outside of my sport. And so being in BSU since last year, especially how Demaria pushed everybody doing activities and pushing to do more stuff for our community, it really made me feel good, and it really made me want to, just like in track, I wanted to try to be that leadership position and really make something happen.
To me, Black Student Union created a community and a safe space for me, especially with our sponsor, Miss Henderson. And speaking for everyone else, I think Miss Henderson is a great mentor and teacher, someone that we can all go to outside of Black Student Union. And like Janiyah said, you build relationships in BSU that last outside of BSU. For example, we'll graduate and we'll still be in contact with people from BSU. We'll come to school every day and we'll be able to greet the people from BSU, stop by Miss Henderson's classroom, talk about a few things that we want to get off our mind. She gives us feedback. I think it's just a great community to be a part of, while also getting educated and being more open-minded and having more knowledge about what's going on around you. For example, Senate Bill 93, a lot of us didn't know what that was before the rallying.
For me, BSU, it was just a way to like build a community that I didn't have beforehand. And not only did it give me a mentor that was very helpful throughout high school, but also helped me feel like I belong in the school. You have millions of kids in the school. Well, not millions, but however many in the school. And it's a community full of Black kids in this school. Mm-hmm. But like, it's kind of crazy that our BSU doesn't have more members because it is like majority Black students. So just being in here and trying to help grow the program was a great experience for me.
One key word for me that stood out was belong. Although Butler may be a little bit different than a few other schools, but this district is a minority majority district. How important is it for you all as students to have a strong positive sense of belonging, right? And for context, when I'm saying sense of belonging, I'm saying the importance of when you walk into this school community, you see not only teachers but administrators that look like you, right? You're seeing art, you're seeing imagery, you're seeing branding, the textbooks, right? What you're learning is a representation of yourself. Can you talk a little bit about the importance of that, and how what's your level of sense of belonging here at Butler?
I think it's very extremely important because for me personally, when I don't feel like I belong, I'm gonna be quiet and like be in my own shell. But when I do feel like I belong, I'm very comfortable, and that's when you see my whole personality like shine through. And that's very important because it brings you and opens opportunities for you. Like just for example in this podcast, like if I wasn't comfortable enough, I wouldn't be able to do this. But since I feel comfortable around these people in this classroom or whatever, it just helps me open my shell, open myself up to new opportunities, and just be the better version of myself that I could be.
For me, I would say high school is what you make it out to be. Everybody has a different perception of high school, and one thing that I noticed is there's more positive things to say about high school when you are involved. I think that's after academically doing great, I think being involved is a major part in people's high school experience, and I feel like belonging is also a part of that. If like you don't belong to a place, why would you want to go there? And as well as if you're not doing anything at that place, some people, they just don't like school. They don't like school, but it's less miserable when you have new friends from the clubs that you're in. You've bonded with teachers from clubs that you're in or sports that you play, and it gives you a purpose to come to school every day. For example, you can't come to practice if you don't go to school. Mm-hmm. You can't play if you don't have good grades. And I feel like I belong in the school not only because I'm black, but because I am involved.
I strongly agree. I really think it's very important in general to see black imagery, to see black students in a predominantly black school this year. I think it's important to see those things, because if not, then we're just it's gonna feel like for a lot of people that say they're gonna just be in their shell, or they're just gonna feel like the odd ones out, and they're not really gonna find a sense of if I can have a friend, or if I can find a community, or anybody like me or looks like me. I really think it's important to have those things surrounding our school, and to push more things for our school specifically, because if not, then I just feel like that just goes into the impact of how our school does not have that much of, in a way, culture and school spirit.
Yeah, I would agree. I've been out of high school for some time. I'll give y'all my year. You can do the math later. Mm-hmm. I graduated in 2004. I went to Ballard and Wagner. I did 2 years at Ballard, 2 years at Wagner. And for me, the sense of belonging, although like most, right, we seek out comfort and people that we can relate to. I had that, but it wasn't like here, right? Like Ballard was not a majority minority school when I was there. Wagner was. And as I reflect, I can recall those times where I didn't want to do anything because I didn't feel like I fit in or I belonged there. And we didn't see a lot of people that looked like us, right? So, and we know statistically, strong sense of belonging, the other end of that spectrum is a more positive experience, typically, higher involvement, higher grades. So these things matter, right?
Absolutely.
Thinking about this school community specifically, what are some of the things you'd like to see changed or enhanced? And again, I want us to keep in mind, like, through your lens, right? What can this school do better, or what can the district do better to provide our black and brown students a better experience in school?
Sorry here. I think specifically, it doesn't feel like for our school in particular, there's no reward out of this. There's no reward out of being a good student. There's no reward out of doing a dual credit class or having a good anything. It feels like there's no actual spirit here. It feels like we're just going through what we're just gonna have to get the grade then there next year. I feel like there's not much events or that much of an actual high school experience as we would at least want it to be. Not that it has to be High School Musical, but I feel like there's just not enough fun out of this, and it's really kind of frustrating because it's at the end of the day, it just feels like for a lot of people, school, sport, and go home. There's nothing other than going to a basketball game or some game after school, or really taking the time to put yourself out there on out of school programs. There's really nothing. It feels like there's nothing there, and I feel like with our school, they need to work a lot on, because it feels like they're just trying to work on so much with discipline than really handling the bigger problem.
So what I feel like I'm hearing you say is you would like to see more opportunities to get together as a school community.
Definitely.
Because I'll speak from experience. What you're doing now, like the dual credits, the good grades, like you may not see the benefit or the reward of that particularly right now, but that is what that's what tees you up, right?
Yes.
So you're going to college, right?
Yes.
So that's your reward academically.
Yeah, even though academically, I also mean for just being here as a general high school student, I just feel like it's just a series of just, they're worried about the bad stuff. And when it comes to like Earth Spirit Week and how we come up with ideas and then they turn around and turn it into the old stuff, where we can't add an activity because of some bad event that happened years ago, and stuff like that is just so frustrating. And another reason why we just can't do that much involvement with our school, because it just feels like they're just stuck in their old ways.
I feel like at our school, I feel like the frustrating part is that they focus more on the bad kids. Well, I'm not going to label a kid as bad, but kids with more behavioral issues than kids who are doing what they need to do. There was a lot of unkept promises that we were promised for our good behavior, good academics. None of that came because they were so focused on the ones with bad behavior. And I know that discipline is very important, but at this school, discipline is lacked. They enforce rules for like a week or two, and then after that, it's a joke. People want to go to ISAP. People don't care if they get hall swept. It's no punishment. They focus so bad on the bad that there is, they focus so much on the bad, but there's no punishment with it. So it's kind of just like a waste of time. And that takes away from the students that deserve things like a good pep rally would be nice. Like, as hyped as we get for our football games, I feel like we should also get as hyped for the basketball games. I feel like we should do more for when our teams go to state. And I feel like, for example, even little things like Black History Month, that's something to celebrate. Why not have a 30-minute assembly about it? Something to celebrate, something to look forward to, because we know what we're going to get in college. We know what the academic progress will get. But we're talking about now because it's high school. We're still kids.
Ryland, just to piggyback off of that, I just think high school is meant to be fun, and that's just that. People of younger kids from like middle school and stuff, they look forward to high school because they see how it's supposed to be. But when like me getting here is very different than how you see it in movies or how it's portrayed to you by your parents or whoever. So I think the school should just like find a way to make it more fun, but also keep it to where, well, obviously discipline, but just keep it to where people enjoy coming here every day, so they don't feel like they just need to get by.
I also think that our peers is also part of the problem. I feel like at all schools, there should be involvement in the students. I feel like we don't have enough peer pressure to join things. For example, we are a predominantly Black school, but our Black Student Union it's not really a fraction of that. And I feel like we as the students also need to speak to other students about joining things. For example, there's a lot of potential for track. We could use more runners. A lot of potential for Black Student Union leaders. I feel like people are afraid, or also there's not enough being said to get out there, or also the fact that a lot of people just don't want to listen. And I feel like in schools now, it should be promoted to listen to your peers, because we all do seek our peers' approval. And I think, stuff like pep rallies bring people together, in my opinion, and that, also like cool posters to put up, also speaking on the announcements every morning about what's going on in the school.
Yeah, I can agree with you on that. I don't think our communities, right, Black and brown communities, promote the non-popular sports, the non-popular rec or extracurricular activities, right? Like, again, when I was in high school, or really middle, high, it was football, basketball, or nothing. I played soccer. For 8 years. And I had friends in middle school that didn't even know, one, we had a soccer team, or that I was even on it for 3 years. And that's crazy to think, right? Even I can think back to high school too. Like I did football and basketball in high school, and track was never anything that was really heavily promoted, right? The first time I touched a track field outside of conditioning for basketball was my senior year, and had never been to a track and field. I said, let me go check this out, right? And the first time I ran that was the first year I ran a 40. We were just messing around, 40-yard dash. Sorry, excuse me. And I ran a 4.5 on the first time. I think that's pretty impressive.
Is that impressive?
No.
I don't know. I mean, I ran
40 meters.
Now the lowest one is the 60, so we don't know nothing about that.
We'll say-
That's
well-
like a good estimate or not.
You will say thank you. Okay, so for those that don't know, in addition to those that are speaking right now, we are in Miss Henderson's classroom, and the rest of the BSU is here. And I got, what's your name? Drake. Drake's telling me a 4.5 for your first time ever. My stance, I started straight up. I had no stance, no posture, just flat out running. That's not bad.
Man, that's Henderson.
Henderson.
Right, she's the official.
In football terms, that's great.
Okay.
Yeah. Football terms, that's great.
In
But
track, it's nice.
well, okay.
Add to it.
We can add to it. Okay.
Give you 10.
What about so that same year, we had to qualify for varsity. It was like a 6-minute mile, 5:28. That's
That's impressive.
That's all right.
Hey,
Okay,
That's impressive, because I can't do it.
So y'all switching gears a little bit. I've heard Miss Henderson's name at least 5 times.
Yep.
Talk a little bit about the relationship you all have developed with your BSU sponsor. Just talk about that relationship.
And blunt, I really love Henderson. She's been my coach for 4 years, but also been my teacher before in humanities. I feel like a lot of people don't realize how much of a great person she is and how hard and busy she works. I just feel like our relationship is really, in a way, close, and I'm really gonna miss her. Because honestly, there's no reason I would really come back here to this high school unless it was to visit her for being one of my favorite teachers. So I really think she's one of the people that actually tries to make stuff happen in her school, and especially for BSU, she really tries to make moves, and I feel like she's the best.
Anaya speaking here. Miss Henderson is kind of like a school mom, I think, not to me, but a lot of other people from what I've seen. I met her sophomore year when she was my humanities teacher, and then she proceeded to be my track coach. And from the jump, even if there was a problem with the coaches, even if she didn't feel like it, sometimes she'd be front and she'd be like, I'm not bringing no snacks to me tomorrow. You gotta bring your own snacks. Every single time, she's gonna feed us. One thing about Miss Henderson, she's gonna take care of you, and I think that's the thing I love most about her, is she is like a mom at our school. You hungry one day, come to her room. She got some fruit. She got some cereal, probably some hot cocoa, some chips, something. She's gonna feed you. And also, she's somebody to talk to as well. If you want some advice, you need some work done, if you just want to talk, Miss Henderson's there for you. And I feel like that's the relationship that I built with her, and I think that it's very healthy and comfortable and close.
Rylan. I was just gonna say the same thing pretty much. Like, she's someone you can talk to, and that's very important in this school, just to have somebody, because a lot of these teachers, there are some good ones in this school. Don't take that the wrong way, but yeah, there's very few. So it's just good to have someone like Miss Henderson. She's gonna keep it honest with you if you want advice. She's very nice and sweet and giving. So yeah, it's just important to have somebody like that, and I'm glad that Miss Henderson was in my life.
Another thing, she's gonna get stuff done. Like we said, we could come to her for anything. She's a trusted adult. She'll take it down to administration and see what can happen about it, because she cares about our opinions and our voices and what we want.
Teachers like Miss Henderson, they don't come around often, right? I can literally count on one hand how many not only influential teachers, but black teachers that I had my entire K through 12 experience. I can count on one hand how many black teachers I had. Does that ring true for you guys?
Me personally, it does. And honestly, thinking in this building, I can only think of two.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I really feel like there's really a huge need, because I feel like a lot of these teachers, especially this year, with so many of the issues with JCPS, they just feel like they just want to get their job done and go. It shows in how their work, it shows in their behavior. And I feel like with Henderson and the other teacher, Mr. Baldwin, I feel like they're actually more trying to really be more influential on these kids and really have a purpose to really change these kids and help them genuinely.
Can we all just take a moment to give it up for Miss Henderson? And this is something I didn't realize as a student, right? But a lot of the things like that you have shared that Miss Henderson does, like, one, it comes out of the kindness of their heart. You know, a lot of I believe a lot of the love you feel from teachers like Miss Henderson, that kind of support, it's them, right? Mm-hmm. And you may not know this, and I've had a Miss Henderson. I've mentioned on the podcast before, Mr. James White, RIP. It's my science teacher at Westport Middle School, but a lot of things I can look back and reflect on and like, man, like, I know he paid for that out of his pocket. He gave me one of his last, you know, like that's someone that pours into you, right?
Right.
And you can feel that. And I would imagine that Miss Henderson has that spirit because someone did that for her, right? And the hopes would be that you do it for someone else. So another shout out. Can you tell me one teacher or person that motivates you?
Mr. Baldwin and Mr. Miley. This is an I speaking, by the way. Zaria brought up Mr. Baldwin earlier, and I would say one thing that I could see in Mr. Baldwin, one thing I like about teachers when I know that they're passionate about their job is when they do things for their students. They make sure that they're okay. They ask us questions. They ask us what we want. Like, obviously, we're not going to run the place. But, you know, they ask us questions. They ask us how I feel. And one thing about Mr. Baldwin, not only is he a great teacher, but he is also great at balancing having a great structured classroom while also making it fun for students. For example, I had his class for developing Black historical consciousness, and every Friday it was Black Joy Friday, and we would do something to celebrate Black joy. And I think that needs to be incorporated all over the place, because it's a joy. It's a joy to be with a community like that. It doesn't have to just be things like Black joy, just little celebrations like that. And also another example, Miss Henderson hosts birthday parties every month for the students, and I think little things like that, coming out of their own pocket money, like buying us snacks to buy in the classroom or giving them out for a random party or Black joy. I feel like that, even if you aren't involved anywhere else, I feel like that right there will give a sense of belonging. And also, you'll want to perform better in the class just because you have that much respect for your teacher, because they have that respect for you personally as well.
You will.
I also really agree, because when I was in there and Mr. Baldwin's around my sophomore year, yeah, we had Monopoly money, and if we behaved and stuff, then we would get a snack. and I saved all that Monopoly money just for him to forget. So, yeah, that's a shot. That's a shot for sure. But I really did enjoy his class, and we would connect a lot on stuff like music. He loved him some Drake, and we would connect a lot on just certain things. And it was just genuinely fun in there, and it makes me glad every time I see him. And that goes for the same with Henderson. I love visiting her class. I feel bad every time when she get mad. I be worried every time. But hey, yeah, it just goes to show they really care. They really, you can really tell they really went out of their pocket to try and help other people.
It's what I'm hearing is y'all gonna get some shirts that say "Protect Miss Henderson at all costs."
Absolutely.
That's what it sounds like.
Go behind her.
Last question I have for you guys: what were some of the other opportunities that the BSU has afforded you to participate in, or curate, or do whatever?
We have a very turn up Black Student Union.
Okay.
So we get invited to things. Where are we going later this month?
It's a showcase.
Teed Up Showcase.
They're about to go to the Teed Up Showcase that Nari is hosting.
The Teed Up Showcase that Nari, and I'm gonna assume you're talking about the Nari Clayton.
The Nari.
The Nari, former DEP associate. I love Nari. She is awesome. Were you guys involved in Justice?
Yes.
Justice Now, excuse me.
Yeah.
We have members in Justice Now. They performed, did some presentations, did the conference a couple years ago.
Nice. Okay.
Also, by other groups, we would get invited to the movies as well as the Teed Up Showcase. That gives us opportunity to also just have fun with it.
Yeah.
And show off our talents as well.
Yeah, stuff like that. It really goes to show, because especially showing last year, we were really fun outside of school and doing things. Like, that's why I feel like we need more as a school to give more encouragement and effort for these kids, because it's just fun. It's really amazing. And yeah, Nari, she's really fun, and I love what she's doing.
Yeah, she's awesome. So yeah, thank you all for joining me today. If I can leave you with any encouragement, like you've been saying, get involved. I really wish I would have gotten involved a lot sooner, especially in high school. Like, I was just like how you described school, practice, home.
Yeah.
That was it. I didn't really. And when I say school, practice, home, I'm really there. I'm really showing up for the most part so I can go to practice.
Yeah.
You picking up what I'm putting down?
Yes.
I didn't really start to shift my mind to performing academically till I got into college. And I don't know how Western Kentucky University accepted me, but I wasn't asking any questions. I got a letter that says you're in. And I wasn't going to drop that ball because I didn't anticipate on going to college. And when I got there, getting involved in organizations, I'll share my organization with you later. I don't want to lead you, but yeah, it getting involved saved my academic career. Like, all my friends I went to college with, literally every semester somebody went home. Out of 7 of us that went together, I was the only one to stay and finish. And I look at what was consistent. I was out of everyone, I was the only one that was involved. So just be involved in this next year. Good luck in your college endeavors. Hope y'all run track.
Thank you.
Stay in touch,
For
build
having us.
networks. And doing this is good for the collective, right?
Yeah.
Because when we have sophomores, juniors in here, and a lot of times with us, with our communities, man, we have to see it to believe it.
Yeah.
And I think it's opportunities like this that make getting involved in positive things cool again.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
But again, thank you for joining me. Y'all registered to vote?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. All right.